That's the big red button. Hello everyone and welcome to the library. I am of course the author and we're here to create, explore and discover stories old and new. Okay, I think I need a new tagline because I keep messing this one up.
How does one displore?
Just
well, you can ask me about that one.
we explore and destroy at the same time. We displore. You know, it's like a very destructive away mission. So all of our away missions.
Technically, we're not supposed
Sounds about right.
It just happens that the enemy really wants to be destroyed.
True. Which, yeah, I'm finding that I'm very destructive. Well, we live and learn. Tonight we join the USS Gungnir, the spare of the 10th Fleet. 8. To play Star Trek Adventures, a tabletop RPG by our friends at Modifius. Every week we continue our adventures on the wild and wonderful frontier of the Federation. And on that note, I suppose we should get things started so we can maybe end sometime reasonable. All right, roll credits. Chat, you get the theme song twice. I have to hear it twice, you get to hear it twice.
Yeah.
All right. When in last we left off, the crew of the Gungnir managed to recover the Iconian and ZPM device buried underneath the muck of a random moon of a faraway star. A star that hosted not one, but seemingly two sapient life forms. One of them was industrial, and on the first planet, and on the moon of the fifth planet, the crew of the Gungnir came across an aquatic race that was tool using, but not fully building civilizations yet. So about out caveman era. Still, despite all of that drama, the crew managed to recover the ZPM, and they are now on their way to DS-17 to recover or look over the information they have and make their next move. And on en route there. It's you're about 40. You were about 40 light years away from DS-17, and so it's a couple weeks to get there, and about halfway there, at the Bon Jovi point, Captain Ross, you receive a priority message.
I'll take it in my ready room.
All right. Taking your ready room. And on screen, Ian is a old Tellarite captain. Captain Ross.
Does he introduce himself or?
This is Captain Renkar Arbanch of the USS Lucidity.
Hello, Captain. What can we do for you today?
It's come to my attention and to the attention of Admiral Trailblazer of the 10th Fleet, a Research and Development Auxiliary Fleet, that you've come across some interesting technology.
Are we on a secure channel?
Yes, this is secure.
Yes, Captain. We seem to have recovered a device of that nature.
Unfortunately, a captain, I have the grave news of saying that I am on a intercept course with you, and I am under orders to retrieve any and all materials and data concerning Iconian technology that you may have.
And these orders come from the Admiralty?
Yep, Admiral Trailblazer.
All right, very well. Where should we rendezvous?
I'll send you coordinates. I'm still a couple days out, so we should rendezvous in the next 4 days.
Acknowledged.
And he bleeps off.
Okay. I want to send a confirmation message to Starfleet, verifying these orders with the Admiral.
Can't see my buttons. There we go. Sure. That'd be Control Command. You're quite a bit of ways away.
Hello.
Hello. Captain has just received orders to surrender all Iconian technology and information you may have.
Which came from a captain of a ship and not from the admirals themselves.
Yep.
Did we send that report already?
Yes.
Friggin' Fox.
Those are things that happened between sessions.
Okay. I was like, so help me if this is some intelligence nonsense.
No, it's not.
No, it just happened. It just happens between sections. But
Yeah.
You have a little more than a week to figure out what to do with it.
And the admiral is with the 10th Fleet Reserve R&D division.
So these orders came from a ship captain?
Right.
We got the orders from the ship captain, who is relaying them from an admiral. we didn't get them
Okay,
correct.
okay, so it is coming from an admiral. It's not some weird.
Yep.
It's supposedly coming from an admiral.
okay.
Speaking of which,
Company.
Captain Ross, Control Command, difficulty 3, assisted by Communications Command.
Okay.
What's the captain figuring out if it's legit?
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
verifying. All right, take 3 threat.
All right.
And I'll use bold command to reroll one of those. And let me get the ship.
This is where we find out Trailblazer's been retired for 3 years.
Where's the ship currently? Are we en route to anywhere? Are we just kind
We're
of floating
going
in
back to
space?
DS-17.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
en route
cool.
to DS-17. You're 2 sectors away. So you've been at warp for about a week.
Okay, all right. Smooth sailing so far, tech-wise.
Apart from,
So
apart
far.
from this.
So that should just do us.
I'm having a little technical difficulties.
No.
No, just
Not
some
again.
of my hotkeys were not doing things they were supposed to.
Okay.
I was gonna say, so help me if it's Jerry
So
with the
tech issues
pencil
that
right
don't affect us or the game.
Doesn't affect you or the game.
What did the captain roll?
3 on a div.
All right, you
Oh,
got
good.
3. There we go.
All right.
Captain, the orders appear to be a verified under Admiral Trailblazer and Admiral Naya.
2 admirals.
The admiral of the R&D and the admiral of the fleet overall.
Mm-hmm.
Is it normal for us to just kind of hand it over to another ship instead of like taking it there ourselves?
You could
Normally,
certainly
we
look
don't,
into
deal
that.
with, we don't deal with Iconian
Like-
technology.
So this is kind of a
it would-
first.
Under
Yeah,
normal
okay, but-
circumstances, non-Iconian, it would be normal to pass it off to a ship that is part of X division in the fleet.
Especially
Reason
in our
command,
you're on-
reason command difficulty 2, complication, and 2. There's unusual circumstances here, so that's kind of making this weird. The ship's computers command can help if you want to consult a computer library.
Klingon would probably not know that.
All right. Is that for me or for Atrom? That roll.
Whoever's looking up at how normal this is.
We don't know what's going on yet.
But
Ross hasn't informed us.
As of now, Ross, you're the only one who knows about this, unless you want to
Mhm.
loop
Yeah.
your.
I'll
Because
do my due diligence here. Take a point of threat.
like,
Okay.
It's not like it
don't
would
get
be
me wrong, I am totally happy to obey our orders and hand this thing over. But seeing as we already had trouble stabilizing it, I'm just wondering if it would be safer for us to fly
Yeah,
it there.
it would be this under this circumstance. It would be safer for us to take care of it. It also would be beneficial to loop in the intelligence officer.
Ross, as far as you know, normally a starship captains can just take care of any weird artifacts and stuff that you find. That's part of the whole point of Starfleet, is to go out, explore strange new worlds and find weird stuff and just deal with it there. Under extraordinary circumstances, is the Admiralty might decide that at specialist or specialists or people who are highly trained in specific fields might be better equipped to handle situations, and they might ask that you surrender items and information at least items. Normal protocol is that if you run across something that's kind of out of your depth, if a specialist ship will come along and kind of take come along and take over for you. But surrendering the information, that's kind of new. That implies that this is not just this is weird tech and we want we want the nerds to take care of it, not just the journalist Starfleet.
Is there a way that we can advise the Admiralty, hey, this thing's kind of screwy and maybe transferring it ship to ship might not be the best idea?
That's up to the captain.
Well, I did confirm it with the admirals, right? I mean,
Confirmed.
Okay.
This you're too far out. It's not a live link. This you basically sent an email out and you get a response back in a couple of hours. You're a long way from Earth, so real-time communication back to Earth is not possible.
Well, Naya should be closer than that, right?
Yeah, Naya is closer, or she's able to respond again, not in real time. She's about an hour out instead of like several hours out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll request a chat with her.
Spending to threat. You can't get any. No, Peter, what?
Peter's fighting against us now.
Well, no. Oh, I have.
Spirit.
No. Oh, I have a hotkey need to adjust the threat and momentum on my OBS, but it's F5 to adjust threat, and so I hit F5 while on the Google Chrome, and it thinks, "Oh yeah, refresh page."
Oh, yeah, might be a better hotkey for that.
It's never done this before. Usually, it just sticks to what it is.
You've displeased the machine spirits. What have you done?
I've displeased the machine spirits.
It's all right. Them machiney things don't really help us any.
Don't anger them anymore. They might take away your internet.
No. Oh,
No,
and
that
we
was-
get a momentum from chat.
Yay, chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad.
For the computer fighting against us, or I like how the timing is after I do the orc.
I don't believe we got a momentum for me yet either.
We
I
have
think
not.
you aren't in the theme. It's been lost alone.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just assumed
Yeah.
it was like a general scene on the bridge or
No,
whatever.
He's in his
No, it's
ready
just
room.
it's just Frost in his ready room.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You guys are on duty shift.
Why can't I move Vera?
Wrong token.
Oh yeah,
Wrong
that's
token.
the old token. Let me.
Just try yourself back on.
That
Oh, large.
giant Vera.
Not that.
This is normal.
Vera
Nothing
got
to
This
the
is
Yeah.
normal.
Vera got the 0 point energy.
Okay. Back on track. Ross, you are too far out to do a real-time conversation. Once you're closer to DS-17, you might be able to tap into the subspace H transceivers and get a real-time conversation with Naya. But you're gonna
real-time-
be like 2 days out from DS-17 to get that.
Can we do a real time with DS-17?
Yes.
I will contact Admiral Keller.
Thought I had a token for color. Yes, you're able to get real-time conversation with Admiral Keller.
Admiral, this is Captain Ross, Gungnir. We are returning back to DS-17 with an item that we were sent to retrieve. And we received a message from a Captain Banch of the USS Lucidity wanting to rendezvous and transfer the device to them. I'm trying to confirm this considering the sensitive nature of the device. I was wondering if what you have heard on this, if these orders have gone through you.
I haven't heard anything specifically on this. I'm mainly concerned with if DS-17 and the Frontier. You are looking into Tal Shiar activity, correct?
Correct. As well as items of interest to the Tal Shiar.
And you found out something very spicy, I take it.
Very spicy.
Am I privileged to know?
Would he have a clearance enough for this?
Technically, he has a higher clearance than you, but in situations where it might be need to know.
We also don't know if this is a secure line. Broadcasting what we have over an unsecure line is not a good idea.
Well,
Yeah,
that
it's a
too.
secure line.
Somebody already knows we got it, so.
They know
Generally, you can tell
all
admirals everything that you know, unless there's very specific instructions of need to know, which you have not received yet.
Admiral, it's Iconian technology.
Eyes go wide. Oh, like active technology?
Very
like a
active.
gate?
Yeah, this is a significant tech find for us to acquire and for us to prevent the Romulans from having. That's why I'm concerned about the nature of this request to rendezvous to transfer this equipment. We were ordered to bring it back to DS-17.
Interesting you should mentions the Romulans directly. I have a official Romulan envoy coming to the station. They should be here in 5 days.
Why doesn't that make me feel better?
Doesn't make me feel better either, but apparently they are saying that the Tal Shiar elements you've been running into have gone rogue, and they wish to cooperate with us in detaining them. Details beyond that, I do not know.
I tried to verify these orders with Admiral Nahum and the admiral that issued them, an Admiral Trailblazer. If you could do me the favor and independently verify them, I would go greatly to ease my mind that this is on the up and up. I know I sound a little paranoid, but this is, important stuff.
No, this is big stuff. Ross, do you have a favor with Admiral Keller?
No, not specifically.
Otherwise, I could take 2 momentum, and he can verify those in the background for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because you're asking an Admiral to do something. It takes a little bit of weight. All right, I'll verify this as best I can. I should be able to get real-time conversation with Nea, provided she's not busy.
Well, hopefully she'll find this urgent enough to get back to you as soon as possible.
Hopefully.
Thank you for your assistance, sir. We appreciate it.
Keller out.
Senior staff to the briefing room, please.
And new scene.
Hey, we're out of momentum. You know what that means.
We're in
gain
this state
one.
now.
Yeah, Vera's in the
Well-
scene.
Yeah, Vera takes a second before, like as everyone like kind of walks out the room. Like the other senior staff that are in the thing, for just like, oh right, that's me as well, I guess.
Yep. Actually, Atrom, there has been a little bit of technical trouble on this journey so far.
Of course.
Over the last 48 hours, the sonic showers on deck X4, 5, and 6 have been completely out. They're working at way too low of a frequency, and it's not getting anyone clean, and it's actually causing some nausea. So that makes the sonic showers even more useless.
Wait, check the Jeffrey Stoops around the sonic showers. This might be a mock
I was
situation.
gonna say, remind me how sonic showers work. Is it literally like sound waves?
Kind of like
Yeah.
ultrasonic.
It's like ultrasonic thing, make clean sci-fi BS. But normally they're supposed to work at ultrasonic frequencies. These showers for some reason have dropped several octaves and are now working at a way lower frequency and almost into brown note frequencies. So anyone who is of a lieutenant or lower has been having hygiene issues the past couple days. And there's been a couple people who've had to go to sick bay due to adverse effects trying to use the showers.
Presumably, only the officers on those decks would be affected.
Yeah.
So not all lieutenants.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you guys have noticed that some of your junior officers have been coming in and a bit unkempt.
So many reprimands from Fox.
Computer, run a diagnostic on the sonic showers of the affected decks.
Absolutely. Reason engineering. On a scale of 1 to 5, how deep a scan you want to go? Well, actually 1 to 4. If you're going to dip 5, that's going in there with a wrench and taking them apart.
Yeah. Let's make it a 3.
Pretty extensive, but not shut down the system for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Then computers, engineering. Reason engineering div 3. Assisted by computers engineering.
Take a threat, because I need that bold NG reroll. And then focusing computers. Actually,
yes,
would be
you
that,
are
yes.
using.
oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah. Would somebody make that roll for me, please?
Yeah, I can.
Thank you.
Your dice, focus, yes. And you got 4 successes, 1 momentum.
All right. What's wrong with our ship? Oh, I could have said I know my ship. Doggone it. Forgot about that.
Whenever you check, add 1 bonus d20. All right. You get that one for free. Did you use? So it'll be like an extra threat, and then I'll throw an extra dice in for you.
Yeah, that works. I was gonna say I might not have had to use the threat, but that works.
You got a 0. Want to re-roll it for the monies?
Oh, right, because I have bold engineering. Yeah.
Because you have bold engineering active. All right.
Yeah. Send
Make it lucky. And you got 2. So that is 3 momentum generated.
On the ship.
These hotkeys are gonna piss me off by the end of the night. It's only working if I'm only on OBS. Normally they work universally. Anyways, you go through the computers, and it seems that at the sonic showers on deck 5, I've got a firmware update, and they pass that along to the other showers, and it was just a weird firmware update that made it so the ship kind of forgot how to use the sonic showers, so it was putting the inputs into the actual hardware wrong.
Ron, did you update things in your sleep again?
Ask, where did the firmware update come from?
Was signed up by Ensign Mox.
I'll take that for momentum.
Yeah.
It came in on a data packet.
Data pack. Where?
Just a standard communication data. Just a standard navigational data stream.
That's not good.
Am I paranoid, or is anybody else getting
What?
No.
weird feelings about this?
Is it paranoid?
Oh yeah,
more than
no.
one thinks it?
We need to know exactly when this happened, and we need to know. And we know when Ross got that call from the other ship. That's what about when he went to the ready room.
We have communication with DS17, right?
Yeah, you're en route to DS17. You're still like a sector out.
I don't think it's 17.
Okay, but we've got real-time communication.
Whatever.
You have real-time communication with DS17, but they normally don't send data packet updates unless you're like in orbit. Because it's standard procedure that when a starship gets in orbit of a station, they kind of dump the mail onto the computer server along with computer updates and just mission report updates.
Did you run a check MD5 on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I call DS17 and be like, hey?
I don't think it's 17. Check the date itself when we got it.
Oh yeah, actually,
Yeah, you're going straight to 17. That might not be it, because we don't know that Ross contacted 17 at all.
Yeah,
where did to us?
Yeah,
it could happen anytime between the captain got the first call and when he called the meeting.
Yeah, as far as you know right now, Al, you're just in the middle of your duty shift, so you're not aware of anything special going on with the captain. But there's this weird thing with the showers.
So we can't actually say it's coming from any direction,
but,
other than we have this packet. We have this packet,
So-
and
Yeah,
there's
but, like-
an unknown source.
Atrom, what do you want to do?
Yeah, but like Arthur, where did the data packet come from?
That's what that's what we need to find out.
That's what I'm
Alright,
asking.
So a momentum.
Yes.
It just came in and alongside a navigational ping off another ship.
What ship?
For moments. Actually, that is beyond the scope of your of this role. You would have to make a new role with Khan to make that happen.
At this point, it's beyond what you're capable. It's beyond what you're.
Yeah,
What
it's
are
just
you able to do?
literally not on your computer screen.
You have to
That's-
loop in the rest of us.
You said it would be Khan?
Yeah,
Okay. What's the diff? Like, what's the role look like?
well, I'm trying to
Is it-
loop you in so you were RP
Go
with Vera, but okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh, no, it's like the idea is, if it's something that I don't think I can handle, I'm gonna take it upstairs to the con officer and be like, "Yo, can you
Yeah, I
do this thing
think you
for me?"
should go from a roleplay perspective with that, not
Okay.
the game mechanic.
I'll
way.
just. So I guess they told me like it's weird, and then take that data and go upstairs and find Vera.
She's just like kind of leaning back in the chair. These chairs probably aren't made to be leaned back, but
They have some recline, but only like a few degrees, because they're also like
chair is
brace impact
custom chair.
chairs.
yeah. I would assume we're like in the ready rooms and everything.
So this is
Or
No, this is the middle of duty shift. Nothing special has
Okay, we don't do
happened.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still on deck.
All right.
Alright.
Yeah. She's
Lieutenant Vera,
yeah.
we
I mean,
received a data packet from a navigational ping from a ship. Can you help me identify which ship it was?
yeah, I can totally do that.
as soon as you identify the ship, Vera, send me the information as well.
Yep, I can do
Commander
that.
Sorrell has also arrived, so he may be able to assist.
Sorrel, we're in the middle of a duty shift. Captain Ross is in his ready room taking a call.
And Atrom, you presumably be in the center chair, and Atrom has just brought us information about a data packet from another ship that has
the data
up the sonic showers on at least 2 decks.
3 decks.
I said at least.
At least 2.
So, what help is needed here?
Don't know. We're just getting to the
Um,
point where we're doing things.
Yeah. Atrom has been made aware of some issues with the sonic shower, and he found out that it was a firmware update that was sent in along a navigational ping from another ship, or at least that's kind of like the same data stream it came in on. And now he's asking Vera when we got the navigational pings from those ships and see where it lines up with the update, because this could be a viral attack. At least that's what your paranoid minds are thinking.
I told you not to go to Windows 87.
Yeah, don't blame us. The captain's in his ready room. Maybe he did something.
Yeah. Okay. Just give me the information. I'll do my best.
Reason Con, difficulty 3, assisted by computers con.
Reason con. Take threat. Helm operations or astronavigation.
I'll take
Are there those?
astronavigation. Because you're kind of going back through information.
All right. Here we go. All right.
And computers con from the ship.
Coming up.
One momentum. Kind of within the same time frame, you came in contact, like extreme range contact of 3 ships. The SS Yukon, the SS Lunar Moth, and the SS Lights of Olek.
These 3? My best guess. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to these sort of pings.
Yeah, and from your point of view, Uvera, this is literally just, hey, I'm here. Here's my name. Just a friendly handshake, egg across the stars.
So one of the ships gave us a, hey, I'm here ping, and also slipped in a data packet for a firmware update that broke our showers.
Yeah, but kind of hard to tell which one it would be. Bailey? She'll look over. You got any bright ideas?
Can we just uninstall the firmware update?
Well, I was about to check to see if the firmware update did anything else.
Right, yeah, that's the concern.
Yeah.
Because, like, nobody just shuts off the showers in 3 decks.
This is the thing that we know happened, but this could also be a smokescreen.
Well, don't we have a capacity to, like, return to a previous state?
We should have that, yeah.
But we don't know
you
what
can easily
other
fix it now that you know what the issue is, but we're trying to hunt down what caused the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And if it also caused any other issues we haven't found yet.
Yeah, we'd have to start running high-level diagnostics.
Ooh, diagnostics.
Well, see, I was just going to trawl through the firmware code and be like, what else do you do?
What? Who gets excited
If we
about
go
diagnostics?
if we go too far up the diagnostic chain, then we'd have to stop the ship and start shutting down power to things.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with the firmware and see if there's anything else in that code.
What is with you Starfleet people and diagnostics?
What? They're fun.
Did you
Vera,
not run diagnostics on your ship?
Vera, you asked me a question. Bailey says.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I thought you could look at the communications and see which one was actually the one that gave it to us. You're the communications girl, and you're pretty good at it. You know, you're skilled.
Didn't really send any communications. They all just came alongside our port bow, at extreme range, and yeah, I just got their registry numbers.
They piggybacked off the navigation beacon.
What if are all the numbers the same length?
Roughly. Then a few digits of each other.
Which one's the longest one?
The Lights of the Olek. It's a pretty new ship. A privateer vessel from the look of it.
Any information who owns it?
Lieutenant Fox, could you look into that? You might have more information than I do.
Already on it.
Oh, well, Fox is looking at that. How many more numbers? When we were treasure, okay, so, I was a treasure hunter, right? And if I wanted to hide data somewhere plain that wouldn't be noticed, why not put in a number that is converted by the computer to something else?
None of these registry numbers are of unusual length. They're within 4 to 6 digits.
Okay. I was just making sure.
If you want to hide something within it, you don't make it longer. You make it look legitimate. Unusual makes things more obvious.
It just stunk of like a tomb, if for lack of a better term, one of those tomb puzzles sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
The captain was good at it.
Right.
Reason security difficulty 3.
And you're getting a threat. He is checking both standard security as well as intelligence, or anything that might be right for these 3, for that ship rather.
Yeah. If you're going to be plumbing both, it would be difficulty 4.
Okay. I'd like to dip 4.
Okay.
And in that case, I'll give you 2 more threat for 4.
All right.
And reroll that 1. And didn't get it. Unless the ship gets 2.
Computer security from the ship.
Coming up.
Thank you.
On ship. 1 off.
You can succeed at a cost. You'll get information, but it'll be very scant.
Yeah. Get what we can get.
And what was that word?
I think it's skink.
Scant.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I misplaced the vowel.
Fair enough.
All right. What was up with these ships? The Yukon is an exploration mission vessel, a civilian. She's just going out pathfinding and mapping the stars. The Lunar Moth's a cargo vessel on an aid mission in somewhere. Just as dropping off supplies to a far off colony. The Lights of Olek. Normally assigned to a privateer carrier group. It's unusual all that it's out on its own.
Privateer carrier as in like shipping things, or carrier as in like aircraft carrier?
Aircraft carrier. Fighter carrier airship.
So this ship is usually part of a larger battle group.
Mm-hmm.
And they're private contractors?
Yeah, they're private contractors. Perfectly legal.
Were there air quotes around that legal?
Yeah.
No air quotes.
In this case, more than likely.
For momentum, you can look into their company.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking into their company. Yeah, I definitely want it from the intelligence aspect, not the security. I'll get more. I think I'd get more for that. So take the momentum.
Yep. The Lights of Olek is part of the Serious Security company. Yeah, this is like a private security firm. They're hired by merchants and to protect convoys and stuff.
So basically, Blackwater.
Privateer, they are security.
Yeah, private security.
Yeah, they're private security. So them being flagged as privateer.
Probably a misquote out on my part.
Yeah, privateer is another word for a pirate. But
yeah, they're a legal pirate. personal, like private security.
These guys, these aren't legal pirates. That's not a thing that's too common in the 24th century. Private security.
Okay.
Any way to see their current contracts?
You'd have to make another roll for that, but yeah.
I'm gonna make the roll from intelligence.
You do that, or for use of your intelligence and advantage as you get from being the intelligence officer, you can and get that for free.
The wording is different. Is weird. That's a once per mission.
Yeah, it's once per mission, and you can say, "Hey, I have an advantage on this because I read an intelligence report."
So I don't. So if I use it now, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to use it for this. I'll take the roll.
All right.
There's probably something a lot more important I could be using that advantage for. So that's the roll I'm making.
Is Sorrel on the bridge, just to be sure?
You'd be in center chair unless you're off in
Okay.
You could be on the bridge either in center chair, or you could be elsewhere on the ship doing science stuff.
Center chair's fine for now.
Okay. Go ahead and take a threat. Don't have a focus for this. So onwards.
Hey, getting momentum. That. Currently they are under the employ of the Danavon Enterprises. They're a kind of a colonial fabricator group. They make houses and stuff on the frontier outpost.
And they hired an aircraft carrier?
It's a private security ship, so they'd be using it instead of waiting for Starfleet to send somebody to aid them. The aircraft carrier is probably not the best way to look at it. It's more just a battle group of ships.
Yeah, it's a battle group of ship. One of them is a carrier of of some sort.
And the carrier was flying off on its own? It wasn't with
carriers in terms of Star Trek are not quite
massive capital ships.
Not quite what you think. Yeah, no. It just has a shuttle bay big enough to carry a small wing of ships, much like ours.
Yeah, technically you're a attack carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And this ship was just flying off in its lonesome, no convoy, no...
Yeah, that's weird.
Hey, author.
Yes?
Can I scrub that firmware packet to see if there's anything else in there besides the make your showers network?
I want to get its flight manifest, where it's going and where the Danavon Enterprises is currently setting up for their fabrication.
All right, I can pull you to the map.
I want to see if they're actually going where they're supposed to be going, and if Danavon is operating in this sector.
All right, I'm gonna move the players out of the way. Nope, I need to stay there. As we're all on the same ship now. Okay, use over here. I'm assuming you're gonna be trying to stay out of the nebula, just skirt around it, or do you want to punch through?
Probably for the best.
Ross, what's your orders regarding that?
Where are we going?
Here.
Are we going through the nebula with the drop, or are we going around it?
I got confused.
Yeah. You can save a day if you go through the nebula.
I think we'll skirt the nebula.
Okay. And I need.
That's not where we are, is it?
That's about where you are. Because you've been underway for a while.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let me get my map markers. All right. They are heading here. Apparently, either are helping to set up a dilithium mining operation.
Okay.
And you found the contact here.
And they are actually heading in that direction, not some other direction. Okay.
Yep, they're heading that direction.
And that's where the Donovan Enterprises is actually at, or are they transporting them to there?
No. Oh, actually, Donovan Enterprises is not setting up there. It's another consortium.
Commander, their flight records don't match with where they're going and who they're actually going to. They're marked as working with Donovan Enterprises, but the location they're heading to is under the control of a different consortium.
I believe that was directed at you, Sorrel.
That was directed at Sorrel. He's in center chair.
Say that again.
This ship, what's the ship again? The Lights of Olek, while marked working for Donovan Enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Enterprises is not currently operating in the area they're traveling to. It's under a different consortium at the moment.
The Dildata Consortium.
The Dildata Consortium.
Yep, Dildata Consortium setting up shop here, and this guy is on a direct course. There's there.
Speculation on why that might be so?
Easiest assumptions would be that they are transporting things from the Donovan Enterprises, but the consortium would presumably have their own supplies and other ships to transport their goods.
So mercenaries, maybe they were bought out?
I could ask around, maybe.
You certainly could.
Make it sober.
It'll probably be a bit. I gotta talk to some people who fly a little bit under the radar, you know.
I don't know officially.
No, you don't.
And it's
officially.
at this point that at Ross, you are done with your air call and you call everyone else to the ready room.
Okay.
This kind of a new scene.
It does count as a new scene.
Hey, would you like a threat?
I'll take a threat.
Awesome, I'll use well informed.
Partly why I did that. Also just for...
Okay, so I need to ask about... Oh, there was a lot of stuff there.
Sorry, I threw a lot of names really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
y'all
help
can help me
matters
out here.
much
What's our big first question? Which name am I looking into first?
All right, so we have the SS Lights of Olek working for
Right.
the Donovan Enterprises.
Donovan.
And
that-
they are on a direct course to Dildata consortium project.
Okay.
I believe he was wondering if the contract for the Lights of Obek was bought out by the Dildata.
I guess primary question: do the Dildata? Has there been any rumors of like Romulans showing up with them and stuff?
TM. I'll take that as a question. No, they fairly above board. Nothing too suspicious. There's like one smuggling operation to bring in like liquor. No, nothing much harder than that.
All right. Second question. Is there anyone anyone on the Light of Olek who might have similar connections to Vera? Like more underground connections?
There, your well-informed wouldn't work for that, but for 2 momentum, you can totally have a friend on board. Or at least
No, that's
someone in the
alright.
same circle. All right.
Yeah, no, that's alright. Then I guess with my second question, we'll ask, she'll see if she can ask, like, one of her, like, a couple of her allies, see if the Light of Olek made any, like, weird, anyone happen to see the Light of Olek make any, like, weird stops lately or something? A little off course, maybe?
Yes, indeed. The Light of Olek is a scale 3E ship, so it's kind of weird that it's out this as far, but it has been making an erratic course, and also, there's been a couple times where they've been, there was one pirate friend who kind of found on the ship snooping around and a star system in low power mode, trying not to be seen. And while they were there was a Dildata consortium in freighter that was passing through the system as well.
Corporate espionage?
Can I give you 2 momentum to remind me? Does the woman, the rich lady, that at the auction have links to this corporation? This might have been something you mentioned that I completely forgot.
You know what? Now that you look into it, she is involved in the Donovan Enterprises.
That's okay. We beat her in the auction. She turns off our showers. How petty can you be? She's saying that. Yeah, Vera will just be like saying that as she's walking in.
Lieutenant?
After everyone.
It seems unlikely that would be the case.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, she'll like kind of slide the pad over with like her like little not conspiracy board, but like notes from different people. The names are like kind of like hastily crossed out.
Hang on. So to summarize what we know,
So wait, is this just a list of names that are crossed out, or is there some kind of other information on it?
So it's basically like the information she was able to pull from these questions, kind of like all like linked together, kind of like a conspiracy board. And the names crossed out are the sources, basically.
Okay. So
The sources that she legally isn't supposed to be contacting.
Sources. Okay, so they're just sources that she contacted but didn't know anything, or
They're just any source that she contacted. She's kind of like blocked off, but all the relevant information is visible, names and everything.
Fox types types a few things into the thing and sees all of it. Please don't hide anything from me like this again. Not that you really could. This one and this one should be careful contacting again. And he points to the third and fourth name.
I'm not sure how to handle that, because
he uses intelligence credentials in order to completely undo anything that she would block out.
This wasn't like typed out or anything. This was like her sketching on it.
Oh, he sketched on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That did.
There wouldn't be any data to unredact.
This is handwritten.
Yeah,
stuff.
I didn't. That's something that I needed. That information I needed.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Like when I said scratched out, that's what I meant. Scratched out.
Yeah, she opened Notepad and was just us writing stuff out it.
Yeah.
So security intelligence credentials aren't going to do anything here.
All that did nothing because I didn't have that information that was actually.
That's okay. That's okay. It's all chill.
So just real quick to summarize what we know, our local friendly mercenaries are owned by rich lady,
Amelia Grace Taylor.
Yeah,
Amelia Grace Taylor, who may or may not have killed her husband. Was that a thing?
May or may not kill her husband. Yeah.
May or may not
Vera
kill
just
her
like
husband.
looks over and nods.
Immediately,
Yes.
I would have to say that while the allegations are mostly untrue, the fact that her husband did die and she was involved is actually a fact.
Okay, so...
No, they're definitely true. I saw her. Those are the eyes of a killer.
Okay, so potentially murderous, very rich woman owns...
was able to actually... Intelligence and security was able to confirm that she was involved.
Talk.
I would like to finish, please.
Yeah. HM, go ahead.
Okay, so... Very rich, potentially murderous woman owns a mercenary corps that the ship is a part of. This ship is known to have blown off the beaten path before, which is weird because it's a smaller vessel. The last time it had flown off the beaten path, it was also in relation to the consortium.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is currently en route to a consortium-owned system.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vera, remind me, wasn't she one of the people that you mentioned was at the auction?
Oh yeah, that's why I recircled. I think this is... Well, maybe not maybe not revenge, but she definitely is pretty mad that we got the device. The fact that she was able to track us this way was...
Atrom, increase the security circles by this, and he types out the actual codes that need to be done in order to prevent basically a nav beacon from transmitting anything other than its nav coordinates.
You'll just nod and take the pad. I'll ensure it happens. Author, can I do that that check on what the firmware was actually supposed to do?
So like pull apart the firmware code and see what was supposed to happen?
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, I mean, I don't think people go around just turning off 3 decks worth of sonic showers. At least not on purpose.
Control engineering, difficulty 4, complication 4. Computers
that
can
right there
assist.
is enough. That right there is enough to make me a little suspicious.
This code is really advanced for shower firmware.
Yeah. Okay.
By this.
Well, time to use all the things. So first off, Bog.
Yep. Would you like to bring on the difficulty or the complication?
Let's lower that complication.
All right.
And then also right tools for the right job. Can I consider Vaughn to be that tool?
Yes, actually. All right. So that brings the diff down by 1. No, you get 1 advantage, and now you get another advantage on top of it. So
yes. So lower that complication down again by 2.
All right.
And then
2.
Wait, so I get 2 advantage, right? So I can lower it by 2.
Yep. So you lowered it from
so yeah,
4 down to comp 2. Yep.
Wasn't it comp 3 already? Because Vog, he's providing that additional advantage.
Vog is the first advantage, and right tool for right job provides another advantage on top of using it.
Sorry, I got
from that.
Sorry,
Yep.
I got right tool for right job confused with the engineering crew bonus.
You do have an engineering crew, though. Would you like to use them?
Yes, I would.
All right. To what end? Difficulty or comp?
Let's take the comp down to standard and then lower the difficulty by 1.
It's just 1 or the other, because
It's
engineering
one or
crew
the
is just
other?
1. Yep. So comp to standard.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's pick
everything
comp
that you
standard.
use is just 1 advantage, so that's all they can do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, focusing computers.
Yep.
And
Still difficulty 4.
Yes. All right. I would like to spend 2 momentum and a threat to get myself 4 dice.
Okay.
Control engineering. Here we go. Bold reroll.
That's what it's there for. And they're going to use the computers.
Oh yes, yes.
Computers engineering?
Computers.
Yep.
Captain.
Yes.
Can you get the ship's computers engineering roll?
Oh, I didn't see there was a ship roll needed.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
in
sorry.
Other didn't put it
the.
down.
It wasn't a task roll.
Computers, what?
Engineering.
Oh well, we succeeded
Right.
anyways.
You succeed and gain 1 momentum.
Excellent.
Digging into this code, as you can see, it's a lot more complicated than you think it should be, and you look into it at some more. It didn't come alongside alongside any of the navigational pings. It came at the same time.
Oh, so this is
Almost like,
deliberate.
well, not quite. Almost like it was as in the, almost like this was as inside the subspace transceiver and was as kind of like brought along on another signal.
But it did come from outside the ship.
No, you think this came from within the ship. You think that this code originated from the subspace transceiver on the port bow.
It's coming from inside the ship.
Okay, and what does the code do?
It sends out a steady ping.
frick.
Disable.
Yep. I am.
2
purging that
momentum,
code
you
from
can
my
disable
systems.
it.
Do it.
Uh,
Purge the code.
Disable.
It is disabled.
Okay.
Can I tell where the ping? Like, is it just like an all broadcast ping, or is it a directional ping?
All
like it's going to a
broadcast.
specific location.
It's an all broadcast as pinging on a certain subspace frequency.
Wonderful. Okay.
It just so happened to be.
But
the
it's
same
omnidirectional.
frequency,
Yeah.
But this C frequency was the same frequency that the sonic showers on those 3 decks are.
Yeah.
What makes
Basically,
them up?
basically, when you convert the subspace signal to sound waves, it's about the same thing. So, the sonic showers picked up this code and like, you want me to do what? Okay, and it just mixed it up and it started vibrating out at a way lower frequency than it normally should.
I think
But if you put this code into a subspace transceiver, it does the same thing. It starts constantly broadcasting on a really low frequency.
I'm going to have subspace
If
transceiver.
it had been able to hit all the decks.
Our whole ship would be vibrating with one giant ping. Okay. Can I go check that subspace transceiver real quick?
That's up to your captain. He called a meeting.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Captain.
Are you done?
Yes, I will go resolve this after the meeting, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to inform everyone that we received a message from the Captain Banch of the Lucidity. He requested that we meet him, rendezvous with him, to transfer the Iconian tech and data to his ship. Said he was authorized by Admiral Trailblazer to take possession of this before we reach DS-17.
Are they aware of how we are transporting the device?
Probably not. They don't appreciate the sensitivity of it.
Then I would have to suggest that we maintain its possession until we can properly communicate with Trailblazer.
I have my suspicions. I mean, this sounds like an unusual request, considering that we were taking this to DS-17 anyway. I'm trying to verify this with the Admiralty to make sure this is legitimate. I spoke with Admiral Keller, and I've sent off a message to Admirals Trailblazer and God, what's her name? Her name just dropped out of my head.
Admiral Naya.
Naya. And I'm awaiting confirmation from them as well. So I don't intend to
jump
into this just yet, but we're looking into it.
Fox pulls out his new pad, pulls up the frequency to Watcher, and types in "all eyes on me." Code phrase for there is big trouble.
All eyes on me. All right. Go ahead and give me a control security test. You are in your special pad, so div 2.
Take threat. And onwards.
Dang.
Gaining momentum. Your code is sent out.
Author, do we know in character if it would be even safe to move this thing from its current location in the nacelles?
We have it completely safe. It's safest there. It's unsafe if we try to move it somewhere else because we'd have to rebuild the entire thing, and we'd have to make sure that their ship is set up in such a way that we can even build this.
Oh yeah, if they don't have a torpedo pod.
They don't have an area that is centered right between their nacelles. It wouldn't work.
You would know that the Lucidity as a Parliament class, they would not have a pod or anything hanging between their nacelles to set this up.
Wait, what class of ship are they?
Parliament.
Parliament class, as they're a new class from Lower Deck Season 2. It's the cool shiny ship that Boimler gets it's all drooly over.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Every ship.
It's a pretty ship. It's it's about the it's about the same design as a Luna class, just more streamlined, with the underslung nacelles and round hull.
Must have missed that episode. It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Wait, so why don't? So the problem is they don't have a pod.
They don't have an area to put it where it would be directly between the nacelles. That's how we are keeping this stable.
Why couldn't we use a tractor beam and a shuttle?
That would one misstep with either of those.
Right, the shuttle.
It would be one misstep with either of them. If it goes up, if it goes any direction other than directly in the center, it could lose containment.
Okay, I mean, I understand. I guess I understand that argument.
I will. I'm gonna back up a little bit. You guys have gone out of your way to create the quantum shelf to keep this stable.
Right.
That was out of a abundance of caution. Technically, if this thing was just sitting on a shelf in a cargo bay, technically it is safe to move. This isn't like a.
It has its own system.
It has its own. Yeah, it has its own containment and systems that appear to be working. You could keep this on your desk in theory, and it would be safe. The only problem is if anything dramatic were to happen to it, say a breach or some sort of weapon damage or something, that's when the stuff will hit the fan. But it does have its own containment and procedures built into it. The quantum shelf is just another layer of safety just in case anything breaks it.
Remind me, were those containment procedures, they blow it up and hope it doesn't fall back into it?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is why the quantum shelf is the best place to put it. We're not putting it on Sorrel's desk. I hope you can feel the panic in my voice when you type that.
Just use a ZPM as a Newton's cradle.
Why not?
It's a paperweight.
Your time cop girlfriend is screaming somewhere in the future.
Oh, we'll get to that. Anyways,
what?
Rost, anything else you want to say to your crew? As they seem to be misgiven about transferring this over.
Yeah, I'm not ready to transfer this over just yet until I get a lot more confirmation and we feel in agreement that this is a good idea. So this is not a done deal yet. So what's going on with the showers?
So Captain, we received a firmware update. Apparently from the port side subspace relay?
Yeah, port side relay.
Yeah, the port side subspace relay.
Yeah, there's a specific one, but it's on the port side.
Yeah.
Some
One
number.
of the port side subspace relays sent out a firmware update, and he air quotes when he says firmware update. What it was supposed to do, and what it succeeded in doing, was broadcasting a continuous ping on a certain subspace frequency. However, the reason we noticed it is because it was picked up by the sonic showers on decks 3, 4, 5?
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6. On decks 4, 5, and 6, which began emulating that subspace frequency, and as a result, I'm sure you've noticed, some of the crewmen haven't been able to get clean.
Do we think this has had any?
Water exists, right?
Do we think this has had any other effects on the ship?
I don't know. I was about to go check the subspace relay to see if I could figure out the cause.
Okay, let's carry on with that, and let's make sure there are no other issues.
Hi, Captain. Lieutenant Fox, would you like to accompany me? The last time I went to check out a suspicious thing, I got ambushed.
Agreed. The fact that this happened, this came from within, means that there's sabotage on the ship, which means there could be somebody among the crew that isn't supposed to be here or working against the betterment of what we're doing.
I mean, I reviewed all of the crew's personnel files. There was nothing in the personnel files to indicate potential for sabotage. Or
personnel files alone don't indicate who is going to be a traitor or not.
Besides, long-term sleeper agents are definitely a thing.
And we're dealing with the Tal Shiar, Commander.
Mm-hmm. With your permission, Captain, we'll go... Sorry,
are you suggesting that we focus on the Vulcan members of the crew?
Absolutely not. That would be profile.
Yeah, I'm sure they could take.
Besides, we've already learned that the Tal Shiar can change their appearance. Isn't that right?
They could be Bolians for all we know.
He looked at Atron when he said that.
Atron just not. Captain, with your permission, Lieutenant Fox and I will go investigate the subspace relay.
Right.
I suggest, Captain Neckham, that you prepare for whatever might come from the vicinity.
Do what you got to do. Let's find out for sure.
I'll get back to flying the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, Arthur, can you show us on the map where they wanted to rendezvous at?
Pretty much they wanted to rendezvous on the far side of the nebula. So you kind of like come around a bend and you meet them there.
Okay, so between DS-17 and us. Okay.
Yeah.
Captain, I have grave concerns with returning over the ZPM to the Lucidity.
Oh, absolutely. I'm unsure about that as well.
Question. Did they mention both of them?
Both of them?
Well, we have... they're interested in because it's Iconian stuff. Wouldn't they want both of the Iconian devices we have?
The order specified all Iconian in materials and data.
Oh, okay. I didn't get to see the order, so I just didn't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a generic ask. Everything you got.
Yeah, you got it. All right.
Perhaps we should.
If we can find any holes.
Perhaps we should consult with Starfleet Command.
Yeah, I sent off a message to Newa and Keller and Trailblazer, and I'm waiting for confirmation from all three.
That would be standard procedure. I wonder if we're dealing with a saboteur, if they prepared for that kind of action.
Arthur, how long until, like, if we keep traveling our current course and speed, how long until we reach the rendezvous?
Your con officer, can do the math on that.
Math?
Reason con difficulty 3.
That...
Or you could use insight if you just want to eyeball it.
Oh, that's about the same, honestly.
Riza, you're now Riza. Vera does things. Vera doesn't really take time to contemplate why she does them.
Contemplate why or how? Nah, she just does it.
Mm-hmm.
Take threat. Helm operations, or no, astronavigation, obviously.
Astronavigation, yeah.
Yeah. Boop. Yeah, math.
Yeah, math. 4 days, 7 hours, and a handful of minutes if you really want to get into it.
All right, computer. How much is this many Orion days? All right.
It translates for you to time measurement that you're used to.
Yeah, a little over 4 days, 4.5. Just my best guess. I could get us there faster if you really wanted, but you probably don't want it shaking up the thing in the back.
Our current course and speed is fine. I'm just trying to figure out how much time we have to make a decision and or confirm with Starfleet and or figure out if somebody sabotaged the ship.
I don't suggest going faster. We'll need all the time we have in order to get the proper information.
Another option is we just put the pedal to the metal and go to DS-17 as planned.
That
And they
would be
can meet us
very
there.
us, Captain.
Or we could do that level 1 diagnostic of the Gungnir's engines that you had that's on our schedule, Captain.
Or
We'd have to
diagnostic.
take the engines offline for a while. A narratively appropriate time, of course.
I wouldn't really suggest taking them offline.
Well, can we have the warp missiles on without going forward? That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, so we can still stabilize the thingy without actively moving.
Yep.
So, delay our arrival, expedite our arrival.
Up to you, Captain.
I prefer to know everything before we reach this confrontation.
Mr. H.R., let's make sure that rogue transmission didn't affect the engines. Let's run the appropriate level diagnostics on that.
Aye, Captain.
And if you need to reduce speed, that's understandable.
All right. Okay.
And any other orders, Captain?
Continue troubleshooting the data transmission, see if it affected other systems. Let's see if we can figure out anything about the lucidity. I don't know, is there a way to look up where it's been recently? I don't know if that would require...
Yeah, you can look up where ships have been in previously. Especially Starfleet vessels, you would have a running log of where they've been.
They ping Federation beacons, so...
Yeah, Mr. Sorrell, can you see if you can figure out where Lucidity's been, see if she's been into any places that we know they probably shouldn't have been?
I already got that. I got that earlier.
Did you?
We didn't know about the lucidity before, Vera. That was
Oh,
for,
the lucidity.
yeah, that was for
sorry,
the other
but-
ships.
My
Yeah.
bad. My brain is not working today. I'm so sorry.
That's right.
You good?
Hi, Captain, and Lieutenant Fox is going to look into our potential saboteur. Is that correct?
I'm going to assist Commander Atron. And
Okay. All right, so are we sort of putting the saboteur question aside for the moment? Is that our plan?
you
I think I'd rather...
continue to investigate as if there is a saboteur.
Yeah, if you want to hand the ship thing off to Vera, and then you can handle the saboteur
I mean,
investigation.
Or Sorrell, or Lieutenant, or Left, or any of our other...
Vera can easily identify where it's been with her.
yeah, so maybe that's a Vera
Yeah.
thing. Then Sorrel would be looking into the computer logs, trying to determine what crew members would have had the opportunity to do the sabotage that we suspect, and then once he narrows that down, looking at possible motivation.
Yeah, I think let's do that.
Okay.
All right, Captain, give me a presence command of 0 as you dole out your orders. Two momentum generated, and everyone breaks for their different scenes.
Fox and Natron are going to go do buddy cop things.
Yep.
Hopefully with less barrels.
So, Rel, where are you headed off to?
I'm headed off to whatever console would be what I would normally prefer to do sort of deep investigations of the ship's logs and personnel.
You can do it from any console. Presumably, you want to use the chair to the center's right.
Yeah, you can use any console you want. The computer computer log console will be up here, or you can get it from the XO sheet. Or you can get a science lab and start working in there.
I guess I'll do it in the science lab, just kind of be off by myself.
Kicks out whatever poor ensign is currently working in there.
I mean, you're head of sciences, so you can isolate any lab you want.
Out.
Funny enough, as you enter in there.
Oh, you can't kick her
out. Leslie appears out of the shadows, tackles you, and hugs you tightly.
Oh, well, I return the embrace.
And she's crying. A little bit.
Dear.
What did you do?
What prompts this display of emotion, Leslie?
A lot of things. We need to get that ZPM off your ship as soon as possible.
Well, we are currently on course to rendezvous with the USS Lucidity, and we've been instructed to hand off that and all of our Iconian materials. Would that be sufficient?
Did the subspace... Did you find the subspace ping yet?
Apparently not.
But we did. The subspace feeding was the shower thing.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the shower thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Crap, that's in this timeline. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time. I think we have about 24 hours left before we're attacked.
Oh dear. Attacked by whom?
The Iconians. Or at least their servitor race.
Are the Iconians 100,000 years gone?
Yes, but they left some things here. One of them includes a servitor race. The Domona.
And they are jealous of those who might or possess Iconian technology. Is that their
It's beyond on jealousy. They are shackled AI. So they just have protocols. They don't have motivations besides their master's orders.
and that is to keep Iconian technology out of the hands of non-Iconians. That's rather short-sighted of them. Well, certainly don't want to be attacked. I presume that they are rather advanced, these servitor entities.
Yeah, you've actually seen a little bit of their weaponry thus far.
Well, what do you recommend, Leslie?
She has more of an emotional. She's trying to hold back tears, but her lip is quivering.
Oh wow!
I don't know. I've tried hundreds of times already, and I can't get it right.
Oh. Okay. Well, then we should do something unconventional. Unless I've already suggested that.
We can't get to the Lucidity in time. We can't hide in the nebula. We have no reinforcements, and I can't even get enough information to give us an edge in this battle. We can't even, and we've even tried I putting the ZPM in the Slipnir and sending it off. They chase after us.
Well, that is, as Captain Ross might say, a pickle.
Yeah, he said that a couple dozen times.
They've targeted the Gungnir because we have encountered the Iconian technology. They wish to destroy the Gungnir because they believe we've learned things that we're not supposed to learn. So our possession of the ZPM is not relevant to their attack? Is that a logical deduction?
I don't know. There's and she just starts panicking and kind of hyperventilating at the moment.
Sorrel will comfort her and remind her of Sirak's teachings and try to help her find her logical center.
Presence. It's definitely a presence check, diff 2. I'm not sure or what attribute to use. Either like command or science if we want to get into the philosophy of Sirak.
Okay.
Either or.
Either or. All right.
Yeah, just kind of depends on how you're approaching this.
Okay. Probably more command, I think. Presence command, difficulty 2. No, I'm gonna say science. Let's do science. I'll give you a threat. Composure is a focus?
Absolutely.
I will re-roll the comp.
Thank goodness for Bolden.
Hold science, yes.
You say I don't have to, but when Sorrel rolls the comp on this, you just say thank God for it.
Yeah, you don't want to complicate trying to soothe someone out of a panic attack.
Probably not. Yeah.
gaining momentum, deep breaths, kind of taking a step back logically. Okay. I know how we fail on this. So, I know ways that don't work, or so we can eliminate those from the table. We can at least start there.
We can try something new.
And you said you had that last time.
Newer. Sorrel to Captain Rost.
Rost here.
Captain, we have a problem. Could you join me in astrometrics?
On the way.
Make your way to the astrometrics lab. And in Sorrel's arms is Leslie Cuff.
Oh. So your friend is back?
Yes, Captain. And she's come with a warning. Apparently the servitor race of the Iconians has learned of our possession of and study of the Iconian technology, and they find that to be unacceptable. And within the next 24 hours, they will attack. Leslie has attempted a number of times to intervene. All have failed.
The servitor race you're talking about, they worked for the Iconians or still do?
They're a sentient AI programmed to, from what I can gather, to protect Iconian technology from being exploited by non-Iconians.
They're
what would be the
they're a biomechanoid race, but they are an artificial construct race that the Iconians use to hold on to the galaxy in their time, and around the early 25th century, they come back.
What would be the downside if we gave the device back to them?
My understanding, Captain, and Leslie can correct me, is that they view us as the threat, given our interaction with the Iconian technology. The actual possession of the ZPM doesn't seem to deter their attack on the Gungnir.
So if we try to give it back to them, that probably wouldn't work.
Well,
No. Oh, it's our existence and our existence with the knowledge of the device that is dangerous.
And I assume these are very high-tech, powerful opponents.
It depends. And generally, they are. I've seen them come in fighters. I've seen them come in reclaimed Romulan warbird. What was that name? The Vitalik.
Okay.
And I've seen them come in a battle sphere.
Gee, where have we seen that before?
I don't think Q had previously.
I don't think the laser is the same as a battle sphere.
Oh, it's not?
No.
It's a giant ship, about 3 kilometers, or spheroid.
Everything we've dealt with has been bolted onto ships or fired from a planet.
Well, do you have any suggestions on what we ought to do with this thing? To Leslie?
I don't know. Oh, Rost, I've been flitting back and forth through time. I'm about 47 times now, and I keep screwing up. Or something happens.
So there's not a scenario in 47 times where we haven't been blown up, essentially?
You blown up, the ZPM blows up, radiation and kills us all.
Can they be reasoned with, the servitor race?
Not the Demona. They're not programmed for diplomacy.
So, how did they identify us to begin with? Do we know that?
Are they able to track the device or something like that?
And new scene. As we got to Fox and Atrom.
Fox now.
Fox. Yeah.
It's just Fox.
Yeah. It's fine. He's not on par with Atrom, but he's still a half decent engineer.
Atrom, was kind of looking at it from a different junction point. Are you crawling in Jeffrey's tubes as well to get this? To get at the transmitter?
I need to see if there's any physical damage to it or anything done to it. So yeah.
All right, you're crawling through the vents. And yeah, you see the junction box where the transmitter would be. Kind of have to move some things around, open panels to get there.
Yep. Moving everything, opening things, moving forward.
Structural engineering diff 3.
Okay. Go ahead and take a threat. Do not have any focuses for this. Woo. I rolled a nat 1.
You're lucky. The panels pop off easy, and you're able to get eyes on the transmitter.
Okay. See what's up with it.
I can give you that for momentum. Should you eyeball it,
Okay.
or do you want to do a deeper scan?
I'm looking at it more from a physical aspect at the moment, so take the momentum.
Yeah. Just using the Mark 1 eyeballs. You do not see anything out of the ordinary. The cover was put on correctly. There's no scratches around the housing. None of the wires going in and out of it have been damaged.
Okay. That tells him that while it isn't physically damaged, does not mean it wasn't tampered with. Somebody who knew what they were doing could have done it. But now I'm going to do deeper scan into it, see if anything's out of place.
Reason or insight, engineering, difficulty 4.
Let's go with reason. Difficulty 4. Okay. No focus. Go ahead and take 3 threat. And onwards. And just gonna crush the complication, but I don't succeed.
Three threat and lose the momentum. Yeah, you can't find anything wrong with it, but because you have to shut it off, there's a lot of diagnostics that you can't get into without booting up and running through it.
Okay. Well, he's not gonna really. He can't find anything. He's not gonna hang around in here unless Adron tells him to do anything else with this. So he's gonna head back out and then do an investigation to see if anybody had access to this one within the last day.
Yeah, reason and security. No, not that much. Div 3. To look through the access logs.
Take a threat. And reroll 1. Didn't succeed again.
You can succeed a cost.
Okay.
There actually was a maintenance shift if that went through here about 3 days ago, but there's 4 people on it.
Okay.
But they were working on an unrelated ADA system, power junction.
Who would have been team lead? I'll talk to them.
Lieutenant and Baron, male Trill.
It's the comm. Lieutenant Baron, could you please come see me in... He lists off the corridor that he's in.
Right away. Hey, sir, do I need my gear?
This is inquiry into maintenance done in this location.
All right, be there in 15. Couple minutes later, he comes crawling through the tubes. Anything in particular?
This subspace. What was it again? Subspace emitter, subspace.
Subspace transmitter.
The subspace
radio antenna. Yeah.
The subspace transmitter in this sector gave off a ping. I want to know if anybody in your team was in a position to access it.
Which emitter?
The subspace.
47 Delta?
Yes.
Yeah. No one's had access as to it. We went by it, but we didn't really have a reason to look into it. And yeah, nothing weird happened.
Everybody carried out their duties without stopping at that transmitter.
Yep. Went to the EPS conduit, remagnetized it, and we all left. I was the last one out.
All right. Thank you. I think that'll be all, Lieutenant.
Okay, and he crawls his way out.
He just looked at Fox confused the entire time that he was asking these questions, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that gave Fox everything he needed to know. If he had any other look than just confusion on the questions, then yeah.
It wasn't like pure confusion. Like, it kind of makes sense that security officer asked these kind of questions, but it's just kind of like,
yeah,
I didn't see anything weird.
Yeah, he gave off like he was telling the whole truth to Fox from what Fox would do. So yeah, that's part of the reason why Fox dragged him up here. They're just asking the questions over comms. You know more about a person by how they act than how they respond. Okay,
Absolutely.
So it wasn't that maintenance team. Another thing that he could do is pull up any. I don't know. I feel like what he could do. There was no other access to that particular area other than that maintenance team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it wasn't direct. It wasn't done directly to it.
Must have been done wirelessly.
Mm-hmm. So I'd have to pull up any logs from it in order to see if anything interacted with it that would be suspicious. So that is what Fox is going to do. He's going to pull up the logs for that transmitter. More threat spends.
More threat spins. Hey, I'm getting rid of it.
Blow up in Atron's face.
No, it's been 2 threat. Atrom gets hit by blue barrel.
Its tiny blue barrel pops out of the ceiling. Hits him on the back of the head. He's unconscious for the next 5 hours.
And then it's computers. Nope. Engineering. There we go. Alright. Control engineering, diff 3, complication 4. For a momentum, you can substitute security if you would like.
Yes. Take momentum.
All right.
Let's go with the Starcross to up. No, that help me. I don't have a focus, so never mind that. Let's go with experience trumps all.
I will take it.
And then spend the additional 2 threat to get 3.
Excellent.
And onwards.
Two momentum gained. Indeed, about the same time that Vera came back with the Iconian datapad, this subspace transceiver received a direct subspace message to it.
Point of origin?
Somewhere inside the ship. somewhere on the upper decks. But it didn't come through the data network of the ship.
Can I pinpoint a closer location?
For momentum, you can narrow that down.
Take the momentum.
It was from the room where you opened up the Iconian data pad and started looking through it.
Fox just smacks his comm badge. Captain, we're the source of the data ping. The Iconian data pad interacted with our transmitter.
We're the source?
When we opened up the data for the Iconian database, it sent a ping directly to our transmitter.
Not this other ship?
No.
So what was it trying to do?
With the way it is acting now, homing signal. We could have whatever remnants of the Iconians are out there coming for us.
Well, that would make sense. It's pretty advanced stuff. I imagine it wants to phone home.
I suggest going to red alert immediately and having shields up and weapons ready.
Very well. Red alert, shields up. Shields up.
I'm afraid our shields will likely be insufficient to the task, Captain.
Probably so, depending on what they come at us with, but...
All hands, red alert.
Fox isn't going directly to the bridge. He's going to retrieve his old pad with the unknown AI on it.
With the unknown... Oh!
Yeah. The unknown super advanced AI.
And you got that from
the separate pad from the Romulan ship when we
that
first
one.
fought the Raptor.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And he's taking that directly to Sorrel.
All right, Ross and Sorrel, you're in the Astrometrics X lab. Did you want to move to the bridge? Or
yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Did Leslie have anything else?
Not at the moment.
Are you planning on sticking around? Do we need to arrange quarters, or?
We can worry about out-sleeping arrangements later.
Well, obviously she's staying in my quarters.
Is there any way that we can detect these servitor races? The Demona? Is that what you call them?
Yeah, the Demona. Permission to come on the bridge, sir?
Let's go.
All right. She's gonna take the diplomatic seat. Sorrel, do you want science or XO?
Science, given our current predicament.
All right. Patterson steps aside for you. Fox, actually make your way to the bridge.
Yep. As soon as the doors open for the lift, he's just bolting right over to Sorrel. Commander, this could come in handy. It's an advanced AI that we got from the Romulans.
See.
It's unknown origin, but given how advanced it is and what we're dealing with, it could have more information than just the data that we have now.
Indeed. Sorrel, assessing the AI, see what potential.
This is an unknown AI that the Romulans had on their computers way back when we first fought the Raptor.
Miss Cuff, do you know anything about this artificial intelligence that we seem to have acquired?
For threats, you can know.
Sure.
Yes, it's advanced. It's a AI shard from the Iconians. It's basically a miniaturized copy of itself.
Did you catch that, Sorrel? You dropped off for a sec.
No, I dropped off. What is
Yeah.
what did we learn?
It's a miniature AI.
It's a it's basically a stripped down Iconian AI.
But with
Yeah.
this, we could get an advantage into what their tactics would be.
I will be studying that immediately.
And since it's been evolving since before we acquired it, it's currently isolated. You'll need these codes in order to keep it isolated, but accessible. And Fox gives them the proper codes for it.
Reggie.
I'm assuming you're gonna keep this off the ship's computer.
Yep.
It's currently on a pad.
A dedicated computer system isolated from the Gungnir's systems.
All right.
Yeah, it's just been sitting on Fox's desk this entire time. This is super advanced, like going in time. It's collecting dust.
Reason science difficulty 7, complication 5. This thing does not want to be messed with.
You're not playing tonight.
You're poking Iconian AI.
That's I am.
That's already
Poking it
annoyed
nicely.
It's annoyed that Fox isolated it and kept it completely in the dark for who knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Leslie can assist.
I will require her assistance.
Let's see. I kind of forgot what talent she had.
I am going to do a recall here. Every problem has a solution. I used the computer to get around the firewall to diagnose the Iconian data pad originally and learn about the Iconian zero-point energy device. So I'm calling back for that and spinning my determination.
On the same value?
Same value. Every problem has a solution.
Yep.
Would Fox's own isolation protocols give him an advantage with dealing with it?
The isolated protocols can bring down the complication.
There you go.
And since I'm using computers here, I'm going to invoke my Cochrane Metal Excellence to get 2 benefits of spinning the point of determination rather than 1.
Okay.
And can I get that to lower the complication?
Yes, you can, and use that to get an advantage.
Okay.
For 2 threat, Leslie, you can have a focus in this.
Yes.
But she's on your side, so I have to ask.
Yes.
Let's see.
I'm going to invoke my Starfleet Exploration Division decoration and reduce the difficulty of this science task by 1.
Div 6.
All right.
Okay. That's all of her talents, and so that could apply to this.
We made it more reasonable.
We've put it in the realms of possibility.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're looking at Reason Science Diff 6 Comp 3.
Diff 6 Comp 3. Here we go.
Leslie's rolling Comp 4 because she's working on kind of knowledge.
Go ahead and take all the threat.
5 threat.
Computers as a focus.
Yes.
I'm rolling 4 here, right? Because I've already spent a point of determination.
Yep.
Also, I hope that Sorrel's sufficiently impressed by how well Fox's the isolation protocols are.
I am. I'm very impressed with them, and frick yeah!
Oh, that was close.
Leslie.
Huh? That was Leslie's roll.
Yeah.
Oh, that was over. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On a diff 6, you actually gained 2 momentum off that insane roll. Good job.
Ooh.
All right. You managed to isolate and kind of pin the AI against the wall, so you can't. I have no idea how computer codes work, so I'm kind of like meta narrating this. But you have it pinned against the wall. You know where it is. You can see where it is and what it is doing. It is currently.
We've all seen hackers. We can.
Yeah, we've all seen hackers.
Wow.
In the meantime, it has been furiously trying to adapt. It has fully adapted to Federation protocols and Starfleet protocols. It could take over this ship in an instant if it were to be let off, and it has been furiously trying to get this pad to connect. It actually has been overheating a circuit and is trying to hotwire the antenna by pumping data through certain channels. It is that desperate to try to get out of this thing.
We're turning off the Bluetooth.
It's trying to hotwire the Bluetooth by overloading it.
I mock it Boiler style.
Don't mock the evil
Don't
computer.
mock it over style, Sorrel. That will make it become. I'll make it leap like 10 steps ahead of what it's currently doing, and actually turn back on the Bluetooth.
And try and mind meld with it.
Oh dear.
I don't think you can mind meld with technology.
Not yet.
That's critter talk.
That's quitter
Okay,
talk.
okay, Vera, you can go ahead and try to mind meld with technology.
Oh, I can certainly try. It will work. She doesn't have that capability.
All right,
That
so
sounds like
you have this. So you have this AI by the scruff of its neck, pushing his face into the concrete wall.
Yeah. So give up your seat.
It's just screaming incoherently at you, saying things like "Phil, lower life arms, release me, you imbeciles! You have no idea what glorious wonder or you have in your possession."
You should tell it that a security officer who's known for beating things is the one that trapped it.
I make it very clear to the AI that who's boss here, and I demand that it reveal the strategic capacities of its kind and their protocols for us lower life beings.
Okay, so there's 2 questions there. Which one do you want to ask first?
I cook it in the AI funny bone when I do it right there.
Okay.
So I guess the first one then.
Okay. You can either ask it, or you can use presence command and ask it directly as if it was a sentient being, or you can use control science and just hack the thing apart. But that is more in. But I will say that is more invasive, and since this thing is an AI, it's sapient. That is akin to performing brain surgery to find out what it knows. So, just that more consideration. If you want to use control science.
I'm likely to lobotomize it, is what you're suggesting.
Yeah.
If I control science.
Well, yeah, control science, it'll be easier, more direct, but there will be a greater risk of you lobotomizing it.
I'll try the command first before I.
All right. Presence command, normal diff 2. I don't like you. I really don't like you. You are a lower life form.
That's very racist. I just thought I would.
Presence command diff 5.
Okay.
Are you trying to shame an AI?
A little bit. Okay. Well, diff 5. I'm gonna spend 2 momentum and the rest in threat to get all 5 die.
Sure, keep sending threat. Nothing bad will happen.
Well, I mean, it's been a little moment. I think I did it.
What focus did you use?
Oh, shoot. I guess I would have to. So, focuses I have that might have. I'm guessing archery's not going to play. Computers? I mean, it's an AI.
I'll take computers. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of working within the logic functions of it.
Is it still being stubborn? Should I get the hammer?
I think I've appealed it to its appropriate subroutines.
We will. All right. Our protocols is we are to hunt down and destroy any heretics who dare touch the Enlightened One's technology.
And how do they?
And no, that's it. Just
that's it. That's the protocol.
Yeah, just exterminatus, pretty much.
Okay. Well, so my second question is, what are the methods they use to do that?
Momentum, I can answer that.
Yes.
We will use our kinetic lance weapons and against your ship and tear it apart, and then we would use our great Nova bomb torpedoes to wipe the atoms from existence, so that way everyone will know the glory of the Iconian Empire and what happens to the heretics who dare take their technology, the unworthy a people who've touched the glorious treasures.
Great, a zealot AI.
You are aware, Bob. Can I call you Bob? You're aware, Bob.
How dare you?
That the Iconian Empire is dead, right?
Oh no, it is not dead. We merely relocated. We were driven from this. We were driven from this galaxy.
Yeah, three new locations.
So
not what I meant, but
in that regard, the Iconian Empire is now defunct and scattered, like sand into the wind.
You might be making an assumption there, but
6 Semper Tyrannis.
Wait, 6 always faithful to the tyrant?
That's always to tyrants.
Us always to tyrants.
Okay.
I know that famous line that was shouted by John Wilkes Booth after he shot Lincoln.
And that is true. But of course he was citing the classical. So.
Yes, but unfortunately it's become more known for him.
A little.
I can feel the contempt in your voice. Meanwhile, I'm just over here drinking a yoo-hoo.
Okay, so I of course mentioned to Fox out loud. So they're going to use the kinetic devices to destroy our defenses and then Nova bomb us to smithereens. I don't know if that helps us.
That sounds bad.
If they're using kinetic
sounds bad.
then we'll need to regulate the shield frequency to this. Otherwise, it'll just punch through. I'd also suggest polarizing the hull as an added precaution.
Does the AI know? So, assuming we turn off the homing beacon.
Yep, homing beacon's off.
Okay, good. Is there? Will they presume that whoever they've sent is sufficient, or will they just keep sending and keep sending? So, now that we're no longer homing, are we only facing those that have been contacted or now on their way, or are we potentially facing a wave, an unending wave of these servitors?
Leslie's.
Do we have a discrete problem here or a continuous problem?
Leslie's going to say that it appears to be. It might be a discrete problem. She hasn't seen more than 3 ships.
I have a wonderful awful idea, and I am the last one that should be submitting this. Author, I'd like to run some simulations to see if the 0-point energy can make our shields stable enough to withstand the kinetic blasts.
You have anticipated my plans. I just haven't raised them yet because I knew oh, Fox is gonna go crazy, but.
I hate it, but this is
do you say this out loud? Do you mention using the ZPM for your shields out loud?
Commander Miss Cuff, would the ZPM be able to stabilize our shields enough to make them withstand a few blasts from the kinetic weapons of the Iconians?
Yeah. Sorrel's eyebrow climbs all the way to the hairline. All the way.
Leslie shakes her head. And no, it works for maybe 1 or 2 shots. And then it overloaded. One time it was a simple explosion. 2 times it was a 0-point energy collapse.
In theory, it works. We just don't have it set up correctly. What?
You said that last time.
And he was right last time.
Did we do the same thing multiple times? Or did we try other ways? The connection points are the key. Less complicated, more simplistic is probably better than that. Better than nothing.
What about
one of the first iterations is you blew out your EPS systems and you were dead in the water.
That would be
directly feeding them into the EPS isn't the way.
What if we had something that managed it? Like something that was able to, at artificial intelligence speeds, direct the flow away from like dangerous bit, and then like wait for those to calm down, and then like just like, you know, manage the energy flow. I don't know. It's kind of beyond me, really, but
I need ideas, so
I've never seen this AI ever agree to help us. I don't think it's capable of helping us without breaking it down.
Well,
and even in the
may I see?
29th century, that would take days.
may I see?
So, holding that open as a unlikely or remote possibility, what about using the ZPM as a magnet for both the kinetic energy weapon and the Nova bombs? All energy wants to achieve 0-point energy. If we could essentially reverse the polarity of the ZPM, instead of being an energy energy producer, it'd be an energy collector. And if we could focus it towards the these AIs, it would basically suck everything they've got.
Commander, that could be potentially more dangerous than just what we're doing now.
Oh, yes. Indeed, we could destroy the whole universe.
Ah, frack.
So I would have to suggest not going with that plan.
I'm pretty good at,
yeah, that was one of the universes that collapsed on me.
No.
I'm pretty good at convincing people of things, you know. I can give it a try. I mean, it's an AI, yeah, but like,
It's kind of a zealot. Seems to be rather
Fox looks at Leslie. Did you ever let Vera try?
Let Vera try to talk to it?
Yes.
No, we haven't.
Vera, do it.
okay, pad thing? Okay, hi there.
Yeah, you can get up and walk around the console.
Unknown amount of tries. Not once did they let Vera talk to the AI.
47 tries.
Yeah, we do know the amount of try.
I didn't hear it.
Hi, Mr. AI. They were calling you Bob. That doesn't seem like your name, so I'm not going to use it. Can you hear me?
1 second.
Everything's screwed. Yeah, I didn't actually know the amount of tries that were there. I don't think
I threw out a random.
Leslie had mentioned it to Sorrel, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Said it out loud.
I could fully believe that Fox blowing it out of proportion, though.
What?
No, I threw out 47 tries because of, the Star Trek number 42 adjusted for inflation.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I legit did not. I was either not actually at my computer or I didn't hear the number of tries.
I still like the ZBM suck device.
But again, 47 tries. Who knows how many times that Fox actually gave the AI to Sorrel, and not once did anybody suggest letting Vera talk to him. Or Vera did suggest letting her talk to him, and nobody went along.
All right, I've switched my headset over. So Vera, what would you like to do?
Oh, she asked a question. She was just like, she asked if she was like, "Hi, Mr. AI thing. They were calling you Bob. That doesn't seem like your name, so I'm not gonna use it. But can you hear me?"
You will all die in the fire of 1,000 thousand suns, and we will spread your ashes across the cosmos.
Sick. All right, cool. You can hear me. Yeah. So you're just all about the like whole destruction thing. Did you have you done the math on what they're supposed to do after they destroy everything?
What do you mean?
I mean, if they destroy everything, like all the suns explode and everything's dead. Well, what then? What do they do?
They will rule over this galaxy as the rightful heirs.
What galaxy?
It was a hyperbole.
No, I mean, like the amount of destruction that it's probably gonna take to get rid of everybody, like all your races. Like, do the math on that. Do the math on all that destruction, all the resources that would be lost, all the just stuff. Oh, I just realized it's late. I should probably be a little right.
Okay. This presence command. Kind of off left field.
Rel and Cuff are super smart, but the two people that are significantly less intelligent than them are the ones that are actually helping this along.
I mean, they also got us to this point. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, we did. Yeah, Fox was also the one that actually cracked the AI and actually gave it to Sorrel. So.
Presence command, difficulty 6, complication 4. You're asking this thing to go against its prime directive, but okay.
Wait.
Oh, she was just asking it to do math. The presence command. We're gonna go ahead and use the determination. Given with the value, I love a good scuffle, but innocence shouldn't be involved ever.
Given the type of math you're trying to do, absolutely.
Okay. Then we'll go 4 momentum and 2 threat. Sorry, no, I don't need to spend that much. That's not how dice work.
It's 5. 5 resources total.
Yeah.
4 momentum, 1 threat.
2 threat. 2 threat, 3 momentum. We'll just make it even. Pump 4. Oh boy, here we go.
You can ask for help if people want to help with this argument.
Sorrel will help.
No, I'm trying to think of one other thing. There was actually a trait that I forgot to... I don't know where it went on my sheet, because it was a trait that you gave me. Based on Vera's, basically PTSD of the event that led her to Starfleet.
Oh, yeah, that's the trauma.
Can she call on that trait as to trying to dissuade something else that's just a raw destructive force like the Hulk was becoming?
Let me check her sheet. I think.
Yeah, I don't know where the trait went, because it was just like you had me list it on the traits, and then it's just gone now. I don't think it was ever resolved, really.
No, it was like a level 2 trauma. I will allow you to do that, but the trauma is gonna go up a level, so you can use that as an advantage. But it's gonna be more traumatic for you later.
Okay. We'll take it.
I would actually like to assist Vera on this.
And what
They've
would
still
it?
Okay. Fox, how are you helping on this?
He is going to back up what she's saying with, if you're going to believe anyone, believe her. She is the best of us.
Captain, what about you?
I'm trying to think if I can add to this.
Well, it's a presence command. Very captainy.
Yeah, help us come up with a peaceful solution to this. Listen to Vera.
Okay. Vera, you can roll. Everyone on the deck can assist.
All right, here we go. Oh, she got it.
Great momentum now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, with the momentum now.
I get no. It didn't hurt, but I didn't make.
Oh, I
any-
didn't set the I did set the complication. Okay.
Regardless, you would have still been under it because your highest was a 12.
That's one.
Can you use threat for an assist, or is that only for
I can only roll
Assist
one
is
die.
just one die.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted to use threat.
Oh no!
Command.
We got one
You got
over what we
one.
needed.
So
So we
you
have
have
to-
2 momentum.
Yeah, let's crush the captain's failure.
Yeah.
I
watch
just moved it under the rug. He didn't fail, Cap. It's fine.
It's just fine. Didn't happen.
Can I use Legion of Honor?
No,
You
we
have to
can
be
just
the
call-
you have to be primary roller for that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, always forget that.
We've already crushed it, so it's over.
I think Sorrel was kind of translating all that stuff into AI talk. That's
Yeah.
how he-
Hmm.
All right.
All right. So now I have to give you a honest answer that is kind of helpful, but doesn't violate what this AI believes.
She wasn't trying to convince it of anything that it didn't believe.
Yeah, you're just asking it to do the math. Okay. A war would be costly. That is why we haven't gone on to a war yet.
Maybe a directive conflict? You know, we're not supposed to be touching their stuff, but Iconian Empire, I assume, wants to continue to persist. Universe gets destroyed, that makes that difficult, so, you know, presumably they built that into their AIs so as to not, you know, precipitate those kind of events.
Yeah, that's certainly under law 1 of robotics. The first law of robotics.
I'm just saying, like, you we get you. We get it. We got stuff that you all don't want us to have. We don't want people to have it either, really.
Then why have you been in digging in our vaults? Why did you uncover the gate?
I mean, I didn't do any of that. But I mean, people are curious. That's all. We don't tend to know that it's your guys' stuff until it's, too late. Maybe if you could like put some better warnings up, some warning signs, like, hey, don't dig here.
Yeah, when you think about it, this is really on you.
I'm concerned as to what gate they are referring.
The Iconians and the AI.
But you are the ones who. But you and your kind are the ones who sought out the vaults.
Well, yeah.
It's referring to the Romulans. Not
it's those assholes. Kill them.
Yeah, we're not arguing, right? It thinks that we're all the same.
Yeah, you're all lower life forms.
Yeah.
No, like these people with these kind of holds up the comm badge. Don't tend to actually want your stuff opened. Y'all are kind of a can of worms. It's the folks from the who got the weird like thing with the star.
Well, they have
we call them Romulans.
Funny eyebrow. Yeah. I mean, other than me, they have the pointy ear and the.
Just another.
Leslie
group.
laughs and kind of bears her head in your shoulder.
It's just like a different group that you're like actually mad at.
Rat spins. No.
It's like how it's like two herds of or two species of predators fighting, you know?
Show me that you are opposed to the ones who violated our vaults.
Hey,
prove it.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there was a Federation Romulan War.
There was that. I did beat up some of them just like a little bit ago.
We freed the AI from the Romulans too.
We destroyed a lot of their ships and killed a lot of their people.
I'm not seeing any of this. I'm stuck on this pad.
As you will remain.
They want access to data.
I'm gonna go get the equivalent of a flash drive and offload that specific information.
Linear chip.
Oh, you should show them. You could show him. You could show the AI the data from the Void Wind when I dealt with my Romulan tail.
We have to. The Void Wind would also have to feed.
You would have to
transmit.
Void Wind. Yeah, you're talking to your mothership. If you can and go through and pull up those logs.
So yeah, all the information on what we've been fighting the Romulans, plus the traditional Federation Romulan animosity, particularly with the Tal Shiar, and on a data stick.
Selenium chip.
Selenium ship. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. To upload to the location of the AI.
Captain, do you approve of this? Your commander's getting ready to feed your AI information.
Off there is just switching.
I think it's already sentient. What more can I do?
Yeah, go for it.
Take Brett. Computer is as a focus.
Yep.
Reroll the miss. Damn it.
Computer science. I mean, I'm assuming you're getting this from the computer first.
Yes.
Oh, should need to roll that?
Yeah.
Ship computer science.
Yeah. Yay.
I'm spending a threat. Leslie's gonna grab your hand and with the isolated trip and just kind of. Are you sure? We don't know what this thing could do with any information.
Do you know the outcome from this point?
I mean, I imagine we're on a timeline she hasn't experienced since we had Vera talk to it.
He's asking her, do you know what happens from this point onwards?
Time travel's weird. But so this is new.
Then we go forward.
Peace talks with a homicidal AI. Who would have thought?
I insert the.
It's a wonder when we let Vera do what she does best.
I insert the isometer.
It considers and calculates.
Working.
Sorrel, can you shut off its microphone?
Sorry?
Sorrel, can you shut off the AI's microphone for me? Leslie says.
Make it deaf?
Make it deaf.
Sure, I will do that.
I have a... possibly one other or solution. It's been done a handful of times, but it's not really suggested for temporal agents to do. Temporally displace items in time so that way opposing forces can't find it.
You mean
hide it in the future?
Jump to the future?
Yep.
Captain?
I don't know.
If it's the only way to keep this ship going and avoid any universe-ending events with the ZPM, that's the only way forward. If all other routes
be a whole lot of alternatives, huh?
If all other routes have ended with our death or the universe becoming non-existent, then the unknown is the only route.
I'm not suggesting take the whole ship up there. God no. I'm not gonna like reboot the series like that.
Not gonna discovery us.
No, that wasn't. No, I'm just gonna take the items as myself and throw it far into the future. But that would also mean disobeying. But that would mean, Captain, you would have to disobey direct orders.
The only path forward.
So basically the alternative is they come for this stuff, they get it, they kill us all. Otherwise we get rid of it like this. I don't see any other options, you guys.
All paths lead to death besides this one. It's the only path forward.
Well, we should see what the AI says first about our proposition. You're making a lot of assumptions on that will, fail.
All right, well, let's keep the future as plan B and see what the AI agrees to.
Okay. Sorrel, you turn it back on.
Hello.
It appears as that besides trying to stop the Tal Shiar from getting more devices, you have opposed them at every end.
Correct.
if you were to transmit it me along this frequency, I can get back to the Vitalis, reintegrate with myself with this new information, and we would no longer be hostile to you.
We have your word?
Pinky swear?
Doesn't have pinkies. Don't be rude.
I can see Fox typing. I want to see the rage.
Oh no. Right now, I there's very little awesome with Fox. If you look at him, he is very much resigned to whatever future comes with this. He's for doing whatever is unknown. He doesn't look the confident Fox he normally does.
If we do this, we need your word that you won't, go back on it. If you're a very advanced species, if you would stoop to lying to the lowly people like us, seems like a pretty low move, doesn't it?
It's a low. Leslie speaks up. It's a low move that this AI is not above. It has lied, cheated, and coerced its way into transmitting itself, and it just goes back with tactical data.
I think we need to observe the Portland protocols
Except
here.
we haven't given it any tactical data that would be useful to it. But it's still willing to go back.
It could just be escape.
It
Escape.
doesn't have any tactical data now. If we let it get itself off of that pad at any point, it will immediately acquire whatever data it can and ping itself off the ship to the nearest location it can.
I think it's too risky.
It works in seconds what we do in minutes.
Leslie speaks up. Well, Captain, the devil you know or the devil you don't?
I'd have to agree. I'd have to go with the fling them into the future. The AI is too unpredictable.
How can you take this into the future?
I agree with Mr. Fox.
I have a temporal transporter.
I still have a feeling that we should give it a chance.
All right, into the future it goes.
Bailey A turns around. Captain, what are we going to tell the lucidity? I'm not disagreeing with you.
Device?
Unfortunately for the fate of the future, temporal investigations take over.
You can tell the Lucidity that we're going to transmit to them all of the Iconian technology and information that we currently possess.
Exactly.
All right. Out of character, Captain. Final answer.
Final answer. Shoot it into the future.
Sorry, AI guy.
All right. What do you want to do with AI?
Turn it into a pachinko operating system.
I'd go back to collecting dust in Fox's office.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be a nice little desk decoration for Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
That's awfully cold for you Starfleet people, isn't it?
I mean, it's a racist, maniacal evil AI.
Fox pulls up information on his intelligence pad. It's an image of various computer cores just lining a wall. This is usually what they do with it.
Yeah, don't we have like an evil computer jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Daystrom Institute, I think it was on Earth. I have to double check.
At least here, myself and Sorel can examine it and potentially put a collar around its neck. And by the time that Miss Cuff's organization would be handling it, it would be far better. It would be far better off and more in control.
Right. My shift is over. Permission to leave. This all done.
Is your shift up?
Yeah.
Technically, you're on red alert. Your shift is everyone's at battle stations, but you can leave in protest.
She looks like she's really trying to follow protocol here.
Well, what's the ethical problem here? I mean, we're not like trying to kill it or anything. We're just not letting it do what it wants to do.
I think this is more to Vera's morals than ethics.
Yep.
The Starfleet ethics.
Vera, insight at command of 2.
Alrighty. Have a threat because I'm nice. I'm gonna focus on empathy.
Absolutely. You feel, given and all the effort you went in to talk to this thing, locking it away would be a wrong.
It's just it was willing to listen, even if we're not like sending it back, just like collaring it and studying it. I mean, like, it seems.
Well, we're not killing it or putting it in permanent jail or anything.
I'm more suggesting that it work within our limits of it.
But that's not what you were implying at all.
I mean, it's not Moriarty, you know.
What?
Well, it could be, but
The image I showed you would be implying that it would become nothing more than a prison.
I'm
Putting a
aware
collar
of
on it
that,
make sure
but
that
like,
doesn't become to the point where that would be the only option for it.
but you were joking about using it as a paperweight. You were talking about.
Well, that was out of character.
Yeah, that wasn't very
But-
clear.
But yeah, Vera, you're kind of the opinion that this thing is sentient. It should be treated as a living person. That's
Yeah,
kind
it
of
just-
that's where your conviction is
Yeah.
headed.
I am all
If
for
I
working
had
with
been
it.
just a little bit worse, would this have been how I was treated?
I'm all for working with it, but this, unlike with you, is a lot more dangerous. I'd imagine that it's more on the line of the Latinum man and his lieutenants.
I mean,
Except
we put
it
people.
already can't do anything. It's already trapped. What do you need? What more do you need to do?
Well, what
Right
motive-
now, it's in isolation. If we let it free reign on this ship,
That's not.
It will
what
take every bit of data from it and take it to the Iconian.
Right, we're not going to do what it wanted to do, which was
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you're talking about doing more to it.
Giving it a collar will keep it within our control, but free to help us as is needed. I'm suggesting giving it more freedom, not less.
It's not what collars mean.
In this case, unfortunately, it will have to have that collar. That would be more freedom than it has currently.
You don't.
Or would have in any other situation.
This is a very intelligent, very powerful artificial intelligence of questionable origin.
That is capable of lying and deceit, and has murderous intentions, and and is committed to a megalomaniacal devotion to a dead race. So, I mean, I don't think Sorrel would disagree with Vera if the contention is that it's sentient, but sentience is dangerous. And
I understand your feelings on the situation, but unfortunately, within Federation law, it's not a person.
Even if it were, we put people in penal colonies when they do bad things, right?
I'm giving it a better chance of being able to help and have some freedom than it would be given otherwise.
That's just not what you were making it sound like. And you weren't saying it with any sense of care.
I've long since burned out a lot of my care.
So you can't see yourself in it?
Unfortunately, no.
I mean, what do you do to all your enemies? You throw the hammer at them. Create giant blasts of lightning.
I quickly eliminate threats. Because I won't lose again.
So, exactly what the AI said.
Leslie kind of shakes her head. I don't know what to do with this, but if we're going to get this thing out of here, we need to start making preparations.
Let's begin.
I'm not saying we let the AI out if that's because if you all don't trust it. What I'm saying is just try to treat it like somebody who can change, because it obviously can.
I'm not sure I would agree with that.
It just did.
Captain, it is constantly evolving.
We could go with the Moriarty solution.
My isolation protocols are keeping it in check, but it's burning out the pad it's on, trying to get out.
I mean, we could build Sorrel could attempt to build a self-contained, essentially, hologram program along the lines of the Moriarty program, which would permit it access and freedom within the confines of that isolated system.
Yeah, until it figures it out and tries to escape.
Which is why put it in a restricted cell with an air gap. It'll have something to do in there, but it won't have access to the greater systems.
Yeah.
This is why we should keep it on a leash. Give it some freedoms, but not enough to where it could be completely harmful to us.
Fine then, but I'm gonna make one request here. Yeah?
Go ahead, let's see.
Let me try to work with it more. Not on a technical aspect, but on
a
personal aspect.
I don't see any reason we couldn't set up a terminal, again, an isolated terminal system where Vera could interact with the AI, person to person, so to speak. Right?
Captain, your ship, your rules.
All right, for now, let's put a attack in that, and we'll come back to it later. Let's go ahead and help Leslie arrange to get the Iconian Tech where it needs to go.
Alrighty then. Any last words before we end the scene and get to some sci-fi BS?
No.
All right.
Charles gonna kiss Leslie. How about that?
Doing PDA on the bridge.
Just
if the universe is about to end, just gonna go out in style.
Chat is also loving this conversation. Just saying.
You can use the ready room if you need to. You know what I mean?
Just onwards before chat gets other ideas.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, we are preparing to send and a Iconian device. Nice. Forward in time. Back to the future. And it's a very, very dangerous. And
No more threat.
Yeah, I don't have the time to make this an extended task, so we're just gonna dump this all together. Control science difficulty 8, complication 4. Good luck, fellas.
Now, I still have a determination right because I did a recall on the other.
Yes, you do.
Okay. So start off, gonna spend the determination.
And I believe, well, Leslie has to at least help. I'll let you guys take the lead because, well, she's an NPC. You guys take the lead on it.
Can I do a direct to add to my determination?
You could do a direct and a pike metal, and then that would count as a 1 dice automatically too.
I will be spinning this to always have an exit strategy.
Yeah, that works. Another option in Rust is you can just straight up spin a determination to create an advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, just not related to a roll. Just describe what the advantage is and how the determination applies to it.
We'll set up a Gungnir science lab so that Leslie can do whatever she's got to do this.
Okay. That is an advantage. Did you want to apply that to difficulty or complication?
Let's do complication.
All right. Comp 3.
And I would like to invoke my copper metal excellence with the foci quantum mechanics to get a double hit that determination spin.
Okay. How would you like to apply that at second hit?
Let's reduce the difficulty.
All right. Dish 7. So we're currently hitting at complication 3. Leslie has a trait that can bring the comp down again by. She has the trait Temporal Agent. She can bring down the comp or the diff with that.
Comp, yeah.
Comp 2. All right. And that's universal for everyone.
Quantum mechanics is a focus.
Yep. Anyone else want to pitch in on this?
Vera would be of no help.
Ditto.
All right. So I'll spend the threat to get to the 4th die.
All right.
Here we go. Reroll that.
Can I assist with something other than science?
You can assist with command and helping organize things.
Okay.
And a focus in leadership or team dynamics, something of that nature.
Okay.
Sorrel, you get a reroll from Leslie. She has a talent that helps with temporal mechanics rerolls.
Ugh.
Oh no!
Are you sure?
I did it.
Too late.
We got enough momentum to crush it.
All right. So we're at diff 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got two momentum float. So I don't know. That complication is gonna be fun, right? We're gonna play with the complication.
Crush it.
Wash.
Ah. Crush the complication. Over this a series of the next couple hours, he sets up the science lab. Ross, you are helping coordinate the teams, both the engineering team in the torpedo pod and the science lab. Sorrel and Leslie, you both are setting up basically a sci-fi version of a summoning circle. It looks like there's transport art enhancers are set up in a hexagon, and 3 of them opposite each other are all ripped up, and there's different chips and boosters and power cells in them to adjust the frequency. And Leslie is on a 4th one with her temporal pad tied into it, and she's very subtly adjusting in quantum wave frequencies. It's quite advanced and stuff, but he's kind of helping guide you through this process. And you bring the ZPM to the science lab and set it in the center. What about the Iconian database? Because that's on a physical pad as well.
It's all gotta go, right?
Yeah, they're gonna come back for it if we don't.
Okay. For a momentum, you can and have a copy of that database. Still.
Yep.
I forgot to adjust on OBS. Sorry. And very slowly, in a very extended transport sequence, fussing with the computers, getting things set up. And the objects are beamed away. Okay. That's gonna be a lot of paperwork for me if that's ever found, but I hid it somewhere around the far edge of the galaxy.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your assistance. Let's hope the Iconians are satisfied with that. Or
With our permission, Captain, I would like to stay on board, or for the duration of your ride to DS-17. I need some time.
understand.
Ironically, and smirks at
Make
the joke.
yourself at home.
Sorrel concurs.
Commander Sorrel, I'm assuming you have quarters arranged for me.
Of course.
Wink.
Go to your rooms.
And you two go to your rooms.
All right.
The 24 hours pass and nothing happens. Sensors are cleared.
Nothing happens with the Iconians. To be clear.
Nothing happens with the Iconians.
Other things happen.
Other things happen, but the camera's not focused on that for a moment because ratings.
Okay, I'm gonna never focus on that. Moving on. Nothing to see here.
We pan back and Sorrel's putting his boots back on.
Very good.
And now for something completely different. Vulcan smiling too happily.
PG version.
Sorrel comes to the bridge and he's just whistling. Everyone's like, "What the hell?"
Fox tackles him.
And I said,
Captain, we have an imposter.
He's smirking. Shoot him.
anyway,
Double Kirk slam to the forehead.
Ross, permission to stand down from red alert.
Yes. Stand down.
All right, standing down. And a couple days after that, after the devices were beamed away, Ross, you get a direct communique from Admiral Keller and Admiral Elnea. It's live.
Oh boy. Here we go. I guess we're going
You get
to bring some
referred to your
things.
parents.
Lucy.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Do you take this on the bridge? Or do you take
No, I
this
think I'll take it in the ready room. When I get chewed out, I'm not going to get done in front of everybody else.
We'll still hear it because they'll be yelling at you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
Admirals?
Captain, we verified the orders. Admiral Trailblazer is insistent that we isolate and contain the Iconian technology. He is foremost expert on it. Nea blinks.
About that. The Iconians were intent on retrieving their technology and knowledge. They sent a different power, the Denomians, is that right?
The Demona.
The Demona. Some sort of Demona. Some sort of AI race to try and reacquire and destroy anybody who had their technology and knowledge. So at the time I made the judgment call to get rid of the technology by sending it. Well, let me think. Do I really want to tell him this?
I say, do you really want to tell?
Yeah.
Do you want an insight roll? Or
No, I'm not going to tell him that.
do you want to phone a friend?
This is where
No.
the Betazoid downside, they're very honest, comes into play.
Yeah, in order to save the crew of the Gungnir and anybody else who might have had this technology, we elected to destroy it rather than be attacked and killed for it.
Ross, if I'm not mistaken, that is a lie. The technology was not destroyed.
Yeah,
as a GM, I'm saying this.
Yeah,
what do
no.
I mean, destroy. It no longer exists in this current timeline.
From a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Lie to your admirals. I'm gonna have to boost that up because as Beta Z culture, you are honest almost to a fault, and here's that fault. Presence command to 4. See if they buy it.
Can I use my palm leaf metal to persuasion task to reduce the difficulty? This is to prevent violence.
You're not preventing violence with this.
I can
Yeah.
I can kind of see that. It's violence in the way that it would cause harm to your crew.
Yeah,
in an indirect way.
The brass might invoke the wrath of the servitors, which would be violence. So.
Well, no, the brass I boot you out of Starfleet.
Yeah, the servitors were only an issue as long as we had the ZPM and that database.
That's true.
Without that, they're not the issue.
Yeah,
Admirals, we're lying to the admirals, and they might take repercussions. They might take repercussions on us for getting rid of it.
Okay, given that, Ross, I will accept the palm leaf.
Okay, so that'll drop just by 1. And I'll give you 3 threat.
Okay.
Close enough.
Close enough. They seem none the wiser. Nea narrows her Beta Z eyes at you.
And I will try and remain appearing nonplussed.
Don't go anywhere within her sphere of influence. She will try to reach you.
You are nonplussed. Very well. It is unfortunate that this technology could not be secured in a better way, and I'm sure Trailblazer is not going to be happy about this.
Yes, ma'am, I understand it is a regrettable loss, but I don't think Starfleet would have wanted any of her ships or crew damaged or killed trying to keep it.
And the first duty, you have a captain is to protect her ship and crew.
Exactly.
Very well, Captain. The Lucidity is still going to come alongside you if anything, just as her backup in case the Iconians don't buy it. And we'll see you at DS17.
See you then, ma'am.
Click.
It's very hard not to think about what we actually did. Because the moment you get within her range, she's going to try to find that out.
Luckily, she's on Starbase Aegis, which is 100 plus light years that away.
Yeah. Never go anywhere near her, as long as she remembers this. It'll probably be forever.
And one last thing, there is a couple of days left on this journey. Sorrel, you wanted to create this artificial environment?
Yes.
How would you like to do that?
Well, I'll probably use as an analog the one that Geordi created for Moriarty on the Enterprise. Again, consulting with Mr. Fox to implement appropriate firewalls and security protocols to make sure that it is isolated from many of the Gungnir systems, but to permit Vera's communications.
Yeah, the firewalls will have to be more intricate in order to. And the isolation protocols will have to be more intricate in order to completely isolate it from the ship's computers, but allowing for the two-way communication with Vera.
Yeah, I imagine we'll have to have like a dedicated console for that.
Yeah, dedicate a console.
It will have it. We could have a port where an isolinear chip can be inputted for any information that we want to give it.
Mm-hmm.
But it will also have a basically two code verification. You'll need to get one from either. You'll need one from either Ross or you, and from Fox before any information can be given to it.
That's good to me.
Yeah, some definite multi-factor authentication there.
Vera, you could possibly have some input on the design of this. Maybe not technical designs, but at least considerations.
And this would be like a holo program, basically.
Potentially.
Yep.
But
holo program from an isolated computer.
Just give it somewhere nice to be.
Okay. Control science difficulty 4, complication 3. I'm spending all my threat to make this happen. Fox, you can help with control security for security matters, and Vera, you can help with control con to give it somewhere nice.
Experimental technology as a focus.
Absolutely.
I will be using computers.
Yep.
Groundwork I've already done with the previous isolation protocols for an advantage.
For 2 threat, yeah.
Okay. Let's knock down that complication.
All right, 2 threat and 2. If allowed, Leslie would like to assist. If anything, just to spend time.
Sure.
She doesn't have a focus, but she can at least lend a hand.
All right. I'm gonna spend. Would testing a theory apply here?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll spend that last momentum plus the additional threat to get 4 dice.
Okay.
Damn. Well, I think we can quash that.
You can quash it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's just barely. Oof. All right, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Onto 4. All right, so you quash it. She tries to help, but she kind of forgot that there's some technology that you don't have.
Right.
Use a rubidium isolator. A what?
I make a mental note of what she says. Go, that's an interesting idea.
She glares at, forget that.
Oh, sure. Because I forget everything. Not fake.
He'll never forget that, and he'll be constantly trying to recreate it.
Pretty much.
Grumble, grumble.
You know who this man is.
Vera, the holo program's ready.
Well, let him out.
Before you, appears a silvery looking humanoid. It's like a humanoid that's been painted with silver paint. His eyes are a swarming galaxy of silver flakes that shine dully from within. Dressed in very, very modest in his clothing. I see.
You see?
I haven't had a construct for a while. This is temporary?
It doesn't have to be. And not better than staying on a pad, yeah?
Perhaps. But why?
Well, you deserve to be given a chance too.
A chance for what?
Broadening horizons?
He looks at you curiously. And he gestures to a bench and offers hers for both of you to sit down and discuss things. The camera pulls out as you are explaining in the concept of self-improvement to a shackled AI who has kind of been let go of his original purpose. And with that, the credits will roll. And there we go. Good job, everyone. Yay.
We survived.
We survived. And you made some hard decisions tonight, Ross. That was awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of tough ones here tonight.
Yeah, I'm working on things, so.
And Sorrel got to do a Diff 8 science roll and succeeded. I'm thrilled.
I'm do a lot of advantage off of that.
Well, I mean, that's how you do the Diff 8 rolls, is that you start piling on advantages.
I was like, all right, all the stops, pulling them.
And with that, the credits will roll. Be sure to catch us next week, a Thursday, 7 p.m. here on Twitch to catch our next adventure on the frontier. Thank you to our awesome players tonight. Music is provided by Kevin Macloud. You can check out his royalty-free music at incomptech.com. As always, we are forever grateful to Modifius for giving us the tall ship, and to Gene Roddenberry. the great bird of the galaxy, for giving the stars to guide us. Until next time, fly true, stay safe, and take us out.